so first off, the closest I've ever come to punching a 5-year-old girl in the face was when she took my cigarettes and threw them into a fire, and then turned around and went like this. She's still alive. Anyway, I host an open mic in York at a place called the Holy Hound Tap Room. Anyone familiar with the Holy Hound Tap Room? Good spot. It's known for a couple of other reasons, like York Storyland. You should probably come to that. But anyway, Sunday nights I run an open mic, and there's a couple things that you should know about open mics if you've never been to one, especially if you've never run one. It's a total crapshoot most of the time. Like you do have your regular crowd that comes out and they'll play the same songs, and some of them are good, some of them you wish weren't regular crowd members. And then you have the people that come once in a blue moon, and you wish they would come more often because they're really good. And then you have the people that the regular crowds that just disappear. There's one guy that he came religiously for months, and then called the bar to tell me, hey, I can't come anymore, and that was it. Never heard from him again. So it's a pretty volatile emotional thing. You got attached to people, you get whatever the opposite of attached to people is. But this past weekend was an incredible weekend for music. Went to the Burning Bridge in Wrightsville for a J.P. Harris show with Brian Wright and Joe Fletcher. And after the fact, we learned that Joe Fletcher and Brian Wright were staying in town because they don't have another show until Wednesday in New York. So I told them, you should come to my open mic, because that's what professional musicians want to hear, is come to my open mic in York. But they were into it. They were really into the idea, and they said they'd be there, and I had a show right before that, and they came to that. It was really cool, really nice guys, incredibly talented people, and I was so excited to have them at my open mic. And that night, aside from having these two really incredible musicians there, it was also just an all-around incredible night. A whole bunch of people came, and there were all the people that I wanted to have on my list, and the people that I want to have on my list all the time. And then this kid comes in, and I'm trying to think of a way so that you can visualize. All right, so imagine one of the characters from Spinal Tap, but he's the character from Spinal Tap that you would call if you had any questions regarding standard operating procedures while playing Magic the Gathering. And that's this kid. That's who you just thought of in your head movies. So this kid walks in, and he, the list is already filling up pretty quick, and it's his first time there, and he's pretty goofy, kind of awkward kid, and he walks over and he goes, hey, is there any way I can get on the list? I said, yeah, I think I can get you on if you're cool with hanging out later. This was Sunday night. Monday night I had a final for my EMT course, and it was 6 in the morning, and I really kind of wanted to get out of there early, but priorities and shit. So we ended up staying late, and I got this kid up, and towards the end of the night, he gets up. Marshall Stone, great name. So Marshall Stone gets up after an incredible night of music. The crowd's kind of dwindling down, and I told a couple people, some of my regular crowd, I said, have you heard this kid before? Do you know anything about him? And nobody had heard him before. Nobody knew where he came from. We only knew his name because it was written up on the board. And but he also, he had his little Tupperware bin of CDs, which is normally a contraindication of a good performance. If you show up to an open mic carrying a guitar and a thing of CDs, you're kind of a douche, dude. Just come to play the music. You're not trying to sell stuff here. That's not how this works. But benefit of the doubt, got him up, and I don't remember what exactly he said into the microphone, but I'm checking levels, and he said something, and I was thinking, okay, it was still kind of on the fence about this guy, because he was a goofy dude with a great Spinal Tap haircut. And so I get off, I say, it's your show, man. And I introduced him, Marshall Stone, to everybody, and he says that, this first song I'm going to do is an original. And he starts playing this original song, And I step back and I'm listening to his levels, between the vocal and the guitar, and making sure the guitar sounds good. And I start listening to the music, and the music was pretty solid. And his singing was good, and the lyrics weren't, trite and contrived, and it was a good song. And so I started talking to all my musician friends, saying I was really nervous about this dude, but he's all right. So he finishes the first song, which was original. He wrote it, and then he says, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I did one original, I'm going to do a cover, and then I'm going to do an original, I'm going to do a cover. So the cover he does is a thing called Love, the Darkness, which if you don't know that song, that is like the ballsiest cover that you could ever do at an open mic, especially with an acoustic guitar. And he killed it. It was so fucking good. You have no idea how incredible it was to be sitting in an open mic in a tap room, and this guy's freaking doing The Darkness, and everybody loves it, and he finishes that one, bar goes nuts, and he does one more original song, and the original song is fucking good, and then he does, and I kid you not, Staying Alive, the fucking Bee Gees, which is the second ballsiest cover that you could do, and he kills that one. So I reserve the term fucking rad for a very narrow category of things that can happen in life. And I got up after him and I said, that, sir, was fucking rad. Mad respect.